the thing is, I do believe there was talk about these things. I believe if we study history, the Confederates were able to shoot pterodactyls, back in the Civil War, and they spread these things out. Anybody can look it up online.
Google it
They
yourself.
spread these things out, and this is a historical fact. So, they spread this thing out, and it's got a huge winglet. It was a pterodactyl they shot. So, of course, these things have been around. Now, they went extinct, obviously, slowly, but surely. And so...
What I'm saying is Jesus wrote a dinosaur to work. That's history. It's in the Bible. How to Train Your Dragon.
Historical facts.
And if you don't believe it, do your own research. Pull up Google. You'll find the picture, I promise.
Oh my God.
Thank you, John Gleason, Godless engineer, for gifting me this beautiful moment. Y'all remember when they tried to cancel Steven Spielberg for posing with an animatronic triceratops animal rights activist?
Back it up.
Hit it from the back.
Cloaca. Historical facts.
Eat my ass, BP. You're down here bailing on the rest of us because you don't want to process your grief and shame like a normal person by drinking and mistreating strangers.
No, Rick. It is you who must nibble my cloaca, or bird asshole.
Everyone knows what a cloaca is.
back in the Civil War, and they spread these things out. Anybody can look it up online. They spread these things out, and this is a historical fact. So, they spread this thing out, and it's got a huge winglet. It was a pterodactyl they shot. So, of course, these things have been around. Now, they went extinct, obviously, slowly, but surely. And so...
Paul Bunyan was sharing some Funyuns with his pet velociraptor.
Whoa.
Oh, you thought it was an ox? Roll back the clock. Let me knock the socks off. Historical facts.
I didn't cut out. You heard me. You a pervert or something? Okay.
What's up, heathens? How y'all doing?
I'm going to my spot.
Are you going to go to your spot?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, honey. I'm the Godless Engineer, and I critically analyze apologist claims to give you the best arguments and information so that you can stand up and use your voice. Tonight, we're going to be taking a look at it's a popular channel, I think. I can't really remember, But anyways, there's this new guy that I've found, not that he's new to YouTube, but a new guy that I've found, that says that atheism, like being an atheist, or what he calls believing in atheism, is worse than believing in magic. I feel like that might be a little bit of a self-burn there, admitting that your own religion is magical, because that's how I feel about any of the religions that exist today. They're very magical. But he is going to be telling us why he has that opinion, why he thinks that atheism is far more supernatural or magical than, I guess, Christianity or religion or belief in God in general. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at tonight. If you are a Skeptic Mafia member, definitely go and check out the community page, because I was pretty late today putting up the video for you guys to comment on. So if you wanted to, in this very first section of the show tonight,
hey,
go
just
ahead.
wanted to say you don't have to be a good person to get into heaven. You just got to suck my dick.
That's right.
Do you have the turkey ones on?
I don't have the turkey ones on. I probably should have, but I forgot. I was scrambling, beforehand. Sorry, I got thrown off by the super chat. Thank you so much there, Daniel, for the super chat. But if you're a part of the Skeptic Mafia, definitely go check out see the video, leave a comment with what you think about this entire concept or whatever. But we'd love to have your feedback on the video tonight. You can even do it like as we're reviewing the video live if you wanted to, because we'll cover it afterwards. But anyways, Daniel M says, David says, good night. Good night there, David. I hope you have a wonderful night and a wonderful weekend there, bud, and an awesome Thanksgiving. I hope I can see you guys next week. I think I should be able to do a live stream next week, considering John's Giving is going to be on Thursday, not Friday. So I'll probably be able to get something together. But in any case, if you want to fuck around and find out how atheism is so much more magical than Christianity or any belief in a God, then please stay tuned. Y'all couldn't see me, but I was shaking my ass during that little intro thing. I need to get it changed out. But in any case, we are going to be kind of workshopping a new segment tonight that I hastily put together today because I saw a few news stories that I thought were really interesting. And so I kind of wanted to comment on them. But I don't know if you guys have seen Weekend Update on SNL, but I kind of wanted to try my hand at doing an SNL type news segment right here at the beginning of the show. So this is going to be in place of Today I Learned Tonight. We will still have comments, but I think what I'm going to have to do tonight, because I can't really find a lot of shitty ass sciences, like I don't have a good place to mine these things because I can't come up with shitty ass science stuff. Like I can't brainstorm all that crazy kind of shit. I used to rely on Reddit users for that kind of stuff. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Brocephus respond to some of the comments that we've received on the Facebook page. So, I mean, we're going to have, what was that? Oh, I thought you were disapproving over Brocephus reacting to comments. No? Okay. She's like, I want to hear his opinion about bullshit. But we're gonna be doing that tonight. If you're new here to the channel, you may not know that we like to donate to charity here. So proceeds that part of the proceeds that we make off this channel go to a charity of some kind. This month we're going to be buying toys, or not really toys, but Christmas presents for foster kids. Maybe toys. It depends. We still need to get in touch with Kids to Love. That's the organization here in North Alabama that helps foster children, both with, presents around holidays and stuff, but also in finding homes and helping in all kinds of various ways, helping these kids in need. So we do this every year. Every November, we are raising money to buy...
Jesus loves the little children, maybe a little too much.
But we've been doing this for 5 years now. Every November, we collect money through, the proceeds we make here off of GE, and also just, our own money too, to buy kids Christmas presents that, are foster kids and they don't, have parents necessarily to do that for them. So that's what we do. So we're going to be doing that this month. If you want to help us out, consider sending a super chat, becoming a Skeptic Mafia member. That really helps us out. We've been well over 100 members for a while, but apparently we dipped below that for a bit. And we just recently got back to 100 members. So way to go, guys. Awesome. Anyways, so... become a Skeptic Mafia member, leaving a comment, liking the video. Actually, tonight is kind of be sure to like and comment. I got some new buttons on my stream deck here, like and subscribe. Did it send it? Booyah! Automatic message from GE during the live stream. I just got to push a button. Also, I want to say, let me see. I'm gonna quickly pull this onto the screen here. I know I can get to it really quick. Booyah! Thank you so much, Insulin. Booyah! The Heathen wear is back in this in the Godless Engineering store. If you would like to get, there's shirts, there's even onesies, there's toddler shirts, there's regular shirts, women's flowy top things, women's like the whole gambit of stuff. There's even a black mug like that you can get that says heathen on it in the store. And so if you use the code Xmas23, you yourself can get 10% off of anything that's heathen related. I just put the link in the chat there. So just check that out. If you want to get like a cool Christmas present for somebody that represents being a heathen, being part of the heathens and everything like that. So if you want to do that, please do check it out. And so this code is only good up until about mid-December, which, so starting mid-November going through mid-December, you can get you some heathen wear. So definitely, check that out. It's pretty cool. So we got Drew's book reviews with a member chat saying, "Hi G and KC, I love magic. The Bible is the most enduring fantasy in the history of the world. So much magic stuff. Too bad it's so poorly written." And then we got Daniel M again, who says, "David is showing you his white stuffed dog, although he understands I'm super chatting you." Well, David, I hope that you have fun with that white stuffed dog there. My son Xander, he's 13, by the way. He loves stuffed animals too. He's got this one plushie that we got him. It's like this giant seal thing, but it's like, have you ever seen the pictures of the seal, but it's got like its neck retracted, and so it's like just in a big jiggly fat ball? That's what we got him, a big jiggly fat ball seal, and he loves the thing. But in any case, so that's kind of the agenda for tonight. Thank you so much for all the super chats that we've already seen. Really appreciate you guys doing that, and consider sending more super chats as we head through the show. But so I haven't been able to change out all of the stuff for this news segment. I haven't been able to develop anything for it, but I'm going to make up a song right now. I'm going to pretend I know what kind of chord I'm going to play right now. There we go. That's a pretend chord. And then we're going to go on ahead and go into the news segment for tonight, which I have like very prepared. I'd put in work for this. Okay. So I'm going to make up a song right now. This is just going to be a quick workshop bullshit song. So hopefully something good comes out. Okay. Atheist news. Welcome to the news segment. Oh, this is bullshit. I'll figure something else out. Anyways, all right. So tonight on the news segment, we have, let me go ahead and get prepared for this. Y'all don't know what's coming up, okay? So first up on the news segment, we have Jesse Waters. This week, I think his name's Jesse Waters. Yes, Jesse Waters. For some reason in my script here, I wrote Peters. Yes, I wrote a script for this just so that I could have all my shit collected. This week, Jesse Peters, Waters. This week, Jesse Waters of the only news network that farts the Star-Spangled Banner all the time gave us an update to the war on Christmas. In fact, the update was that it started this past weekend. He stated that liberals like to wage war on Christmas, despite liberals not really giving a fuck about this war. He claims that they now celebrate January 6th, which incidentally is also a religious holiday, if you didn't know that. So there's your Today I Learned for tonight. Not for the attempted insurrection of that Donald Trump launched against the United States government, but for the Epiphany. Britannica.com says the Epiphany is observed on January 6th by Roman Catholics, Lutherans, Anglicans, and Christians of other Western traditions. Eastern traditions that follow the Julian calendar rather than the Gregorian calendar celebrate the Epiphany on January 19th, since their Christmas Eve falls on January 6th. The Epiphany refers to two biblical events. One is the Magi visiting the... Thank you for interrupting me. I know, I need to take insulin. The Epiphany refers to two biblical events. One, the Magi uncomfortably visiting the baby Jesus. I can just see Joseph right there like, Mary, why the fuck are three dudes visiting you with presents after you just gave birth? This is sus, yo. I can so see him saying that even in the first century. But second thing is when Jesus got power bombed in the Jordan River by a homeless former wrestling champ known as John the Baptist. And somehow that's a problem for Christians if you're trying to argue for the historicity of Jesus. Don't ask me about that. Anyways, continuing on, Jesse Waters describes liberals as starting the war on Christmas this weekend by first shaming a private business owner making decisions for his company. I guess it's okay to make private decisions for your business as long as you're taking away bodily autonomy from women. Big shout out to, or call back to Hobby Lobby if people are old enough to remember that. But he also shames a mayor for trying to make the holiday season more equitable for her diverse community. We all know that conservative dipshits like Waters is afraid of people getting treated just as good as he is. Oh, we all... Oh, okay, let me redo that. We all know that conservative dipshits like Waters are afraid of people getting treated just as good as he is. Yeah, you can tell I wrote this because it's horribly written. I was furiously typing beforehand. Anyways, but finally, the final point that I want to make on the war on Christmas here is that the war on Christmas is actually an anti-Semitic campaign started by Henry Ford back in like the 1920s. I have a video on this on my channel if you want to go and look at it. You just search for Godless Engineer War on Christmas. It'll probably come up, but I don't know. YouTube hates me. Jewish communities didn't like the government pushing religious messages on their children in public schools. And the Jewish community was one of the biggest proponents of the Establishment Clause prior to atheist organizations getting involved in the endeavor. So I guess my point for this entire first segment here of this first news story is be sure to thank a Jewish American community for fighting for your rights before it was cool. And so that's it for the first news story. Moving on to the next news story. Today, the newest white Power Ranger, Elon Musk, dealt another blow to the social media platform formerly known as Twitter. I will not be calling it by its proper name now. IBM, Apple, and Disney all pulled their ads from the platform because their company was advertised along white supremacist content. You know it's bad when Disney says, "Whoa, dude, that's going a little bit too far there." A user on the platform claimed that Jewish people hated white people, which Elon then said, "On God, for real, for real." And I'm betting most of you are like, oh shit, he probably said that. But he said something along those lines. Just a basic affirmation that what this person is saying is very true, that Jewish people hate white people, which I don't even know how you go about fucking proving that. But in any case, a similar thing happened here on the YouTube platform many years ago, giving us the dreaded limited to no ad shit on YouTube where you can't say fuck too much or they'll nuke your revenue. Considering that he's an anti-Semite, the racists are sure to still get paid by the platform formerly known as Twitter. And then finally tonight on this news segment, we've got Pope Francis. Francis this week fired a Texas bishop for giving him a lot of lip. Bishop Strickland was critical of Pope Francis's more progressive positions. He chastised Francis for his position on the LGBTQ community, as well as other positions that he's pushed into the Catholic community. Strickland seems to be really offended that gay people are getting at least some recognition and respect from the Catholic community. And he's not necessarily quoted as saying, but paraphrasing that, oh, you should just hide that like all of the other priests do when they're fucking the boys in the rectory. And I feel like Bishop Strickland probably turns a blind eye to pedophilia in his parish, but is sure to want to kill any of the LGBTQ congregants that may be hiding in his audience or his former congregation, because he got fucking fired by the Pope. It is very unusual. Normally what happens is that they will fire or persecute any LGBTQ persons in the organization, while also turning a blind eye to the pedophilia going on in the Catholic Church. Something tells me that maybe Bishop Strickland needs to pay as much attention to the priests and everything that are fucking the little kids and just people in general in the Catholic Church. He needs to be paying more attention to that and like leave people that are consenting adults alone and they're engaging in whatever kind of relationship makes them happy. And the key word there is consenting. 4-year-olds can't consent, priests. We need to learn this. Well, maybe I should up that a little bit. Not even 8-year-olds can consent, despite what Catholic doctrine or whatever kind of Catholic thing goes around that says 8-year-olds can consent. So maybe pay attention to that a little bit more. Anyways, that's been the news segment tonight. And of course, I said that we were going to get to Brocephus, so I've got to go and get him. But Brocephus is actually going to be covering the comments tonight. So, we got a super chat from Elizabeth Richardson, who says, since I'm sure this is demonetized now, and for the kiddos. Thank you so much there, Elizabeth. And then we had Flurflaw Scholar, I think that's tomato, who says, there's never been a war on Christmas. There is, however, a war on Halloween. I'm not getting my notifications for whatever reason. That's weird. Anyways, I got to go and find Brocephus. So let me go and do that real quick. And we'll be right back with the comments. Hey, Brocephus! Honey, can you get Brocephus?
Yeah, I'll go get him.
Okay.
Hey, Brocephus!
Huh? What?
You need to come here and do comments.
What the fuck? I thought I did the shitty science stuff.
You're not doing shitty science today. You're doing shitty comments.
Shitty fucking shit. Well, let me get I gotta get my underwear on.
Yeah, please. Make sure you have pants.
I don't know if y'all know this, but when you get to heaven, your moral actions are not judged. You're only judged for believing in me. Thank you.
I do have to echo what that guy just said right there and say, yep, that's how you get into heaven. There's no other way about it. You just got to believe in Jesus, and that's all. Whew. All right. Y'all ready for the comments?
I'm ready.
Booyah. That was a hell of a transition where it just sort of popped into existence there. Anyways. I need, GE, you fucker. You didn't set my shit up. Now I got to remember how to do shit. God damn it. You got a lazy fucking husband, you know that?
Don't talk shit about him.
Whatever, he won't take my blankie away.
And you think I won't?
What? You have always been so nice to me about the blanket. I don't know why you're being so hard-headed about it now.
If you're mean to my honey, you'll have to deal with me.
What?
Yeah.
When has that been a rule?
Always.
That's always been a rule?
Yes.
Sounds like bullshit to me. Anyways. We got Paleoism. I don't know what the fuck that is, but hey there, paleo. Hey, there's a paleo diet. Like, is that following a paleo diet? Is that what paleoism is? All right, paleoist. So, once saved, always saved? Do I have to go to heaven? Like, I can't be unsaved? Nope. You get to heaven and you're already on Jesus's list. He's like, get in here, fucker. We got a party going. But the party is just worshiping God all the time, which, Christians love doing. I mean, I love doing it all the time. I don't know about y'all, but partying with God's pretty cool. Anyways, so, yes, you'll go to heaven if you've already been saved. There you go. I like to participate in what's called buffet Christianity. I just take the parts that I like and I put it all together and I say it's Christian. And you can't really prove me wrong about it. Okay? Because have you seen how many different Christianities have been made up? A lot of them. And they're all buffet Christians. Every Christian that exists now is a buffet Christian. So I'm just following the practice, okay? Anyways, let's get to these dumbass comments, because I know GE only has dumbass commenters.
Woo! That's KC's money.
Paleoism giving you money. What the fuck? Do I get like 33% of it?
I feed you.
Fuck.
And I make sure you have beer.
Yeah, you do make sure I have beer. Although we've been kind of dry here lately.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you're not holding up that part of it, so I should get like $10 or something. Okay. Anyways, all right, here's the comments. Chantal C. Liberty. Libent says, cancer is caused by certain changes to genes. It's basic physical units of inheritance. Genes are arranged in long strands of tightly packed DNA called chromosomes. Cancer is a genetic disease. That is, it is caused by the changes to genes that control the way our cells function, especially how they grow and divide. October 11th, 2021. I mean, yeah, you got it from cancer.org, and that's all you put. You know what's kind of fucking interesting? That Christians seem to love to cherry pick science. You know, if there's a piece of science that disagrees with their preconceived notions about how shit works, then they're just going to throw it out the window like, oh, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But then they'll come back around and it's like, oh shit, look, science says that cancer's caused by mutation in your DNA chromosome double helixy thing. And so it's like, holy shit. Well, then that means God's not responsible. I remember this because GE put out this reel on Facebook that basically explained how God, regardless of your theology, is still responsible for cancer. Like, as far as like Christianity, like the big three go, like Abrahamic faiths go, God's still responsible. And I have to endorse this view of GE. I mean, I'm serious. Don't fuck with God or he'll give you cancer. And if you don't have cancer now, then that means that God just loves you even more. Okay? That's just how it operates, all right? So anyways, Chantal here seems to be cherry picking from science in order to prove that God's not responsible. But I gotta tell you there, Chantal, however the fuck you pronounce that. Tell me again, who knits us in our womb? We're both Christian here, obviously. I mean, I would hazard to bet I'm more Christian than you with my Christ-colored glasses here. So, who knits us in our womb? Who plans our life out? Who knows every fucking thing that's going to happen, huh? I wonder who that is. Could it be fucking Yahweh? If it is, then it kind of seems like he knitted us with some fucked up genes on occasion. So appealing to science is not going to help you. Natural explanations, we perfectly understand this bullshit. But on a supernatural worldview, like we both have here, Chantal, it kind of seems like maybe you don't have a foot to stand on in this particular, or is it leg? It's leg to, you don't have a fucking leg to stand on here, or whatever the fuck the saying is. Yeah. So, thank you, Chantal, for your opinion. You copied from a verified source of information. All right, what's next here? Here we go. Hey there, KC, did you mean to do that to the TV or did you get locked out? Oh, okay. I thought maybe you didn't notice or whatnot. You know how I like seeing my face just fucking everywhere there. Okay, thank you so much. Flat Earth Law Scholar says Google 5019 in French, press play, laugh. You jumped ahead a little bit there, huh? Right? 5019 in French. That automatically came up, I just want you to know, in the Google search. So everybody's been searching this. Let me see if it's actually in my video sources. Here, Chrome. Okay, good. We got Chrome here. This is what it says. And if,
you have been blessed by Christ. Now go forth and suck my dong.
just fucking suck it and you'll get in. I'm just telling y'all, okay? All right, so here is what 5019 in French means. And if this gets me booted off YouTube, you can thank the tomato one.
59.
I approve. 59.
59. 59.
You hearing it? 59.
59.
Huh? No, I said 5019. 59.
Says that he has completely recovered after 2 incidents where he appeared to freeze up and become unresponsive.
Oh no, I have to find the random source. All right. Here it is. Here it is. You want to hear it?
59.
Suck on these nuts is what. All right, Elmer T. Mullering. Mullering? How do you pronounce the one with the double dots over the O? Is it or I know in French you go, you gotta sound like a goose or something. Anyways, Elmer Mullering says, on which ground is your accusation towards God based? Well, if I know GE, his particular foundation is based on just being able to read the fucking words on the page, as well as having a general sense of being a good moral person. As much as I hate that fucker, I will not say that he's an immoral bastard, because he's a pretty good guy, okay? So he's got a good sense of morality and ethics about him, all right? Is moral objective or subjective? Well, and I've heard this coming from him before, since he's responding to GE here. All Christians use subjective morality. And I agree with that position. I do use subjective morality. I choose God to follow and whatever I think that God would want me to do. And so I totally think that God would not want me to kill somebody, despite what some fucks have written in his book. Okay? And, not everything you read in the Bible is directly from God. Remember, buffet Christianity. Everybody does it. Anyways, so we all have subjective. What he's talking about is absolute morality. Not even in Christianity do you have absolute morality. So I don't know what in the fuck this guy's talking about, okay? Because absolute morality just simply doesn't exist. Christians from all time periods have changed their ideas of what morality is, which seems to indicate to me that we don't actually know what God thinks is moral. So you might as well just assign arbitrary moral values to your own imagined God or your own interpretation of God and just come up with this shit on your own. It seems to be the best way to do it. Sure, pick and choose from the Bible which parts you like and don't. Again, every Christian does this. If it's subjective, it's random, hence flexible, just a social construct, right? Even in Christianity, it's a social construct. Like, what the fuck are you talking about here? What? I don't understand why this guy thinks that God hasn't changed his moral position on shit. So, why does it all even bother you? Well, I know for GE there, he is bothered by it because many Christians claim that you just can't be a morally good person without God. And really, it's just like saying you can't be a morally good person without vanilla ice cream. All you diet-having fucks out there. Yeah, and I'm looking at you and GE over there. Balthazar 228 says, just like all the early dating prospects for the creationist model, morality is relative. I would agree. Morality is relative. It's relative to a lot of things. It's relative to what version of the Bible you're reading. So why does it all even bother you? Well, like I said, GE is bothered by the fact that Christians throw it in his face all the time, claiming that he can't ground morals or he can't have a sense of morality. All that's fucking bullshit. That does not make any sense. Well, it may not make sense to a dipshit, but it definitely makes sense to somebody that can reasonably logic their way through an argument.
May the power of Christ compel you to get the fuck out of here.
Hell yeah, there I am. Every time one of them things light up and it's me on there, I get a little piece of the money. That's what we agreed, right? When I made them? Yep, that's what we agreed. That's what it's going to be. All right, let's see. Next up, let's see. We got a few more here to get through before we get to the actual video tonight. Not moving as fast because I'm a slow fuck. The 10th Amendment Project. All of these are about God giving babies cancer. By the way, the GE told me that much earlier in the week. He didn't tell me I was going to be reading them, but he talked about reading them. The 10th Amendment Project, right? Because the individual choices, like smoking, for example, play absolutely no role. Well, GE's argument is that God knew that person was going to be smoking, and also God is responsible for all of the elements being there for the cigarette to come to fruition and come to existence, and therefore give people cancer. God is also responsible for the marketing executives that have tried to market cigarettes to younger and younger crowds, children even. And God is also responsible for the fuck that came up with lacing cigarettes with different things that are going to make you more and more addicted to them. God is responsible for nicotine even existing. So, I mean, God could have easily done some kind of magical shit in order for these things not to happen, but he didn't. So, I mean, you want to blame the person for it, and under a naturalistic perspective, we can all understand that. But if, like me, have a supernatural worldview, then I don't understand why you're appealing to natural examples or natural explanations to explain cancer. Because ultimately, it's God doing it, and I'm just hoping that I suck his dick good enough to where I don't get it. I'm just saying. She's tired of hearing about dick, I know, but, you know, that's just who I am. Just saying. It is. That's just who I am. You got to be okay with it. The crusade against Marxism. So glad we have a crusader against... Oh, no, not Marxism, materialism. Like, it was so much more reasonable for, like, Marxism. My brain was automatically like, oh, yeah, fucking Marxism. But no, it's a crusade against materialism. Denying that shit is actually real and you can touch it. Well, no, okay, that's a little bit disingenuous. Technically, it's the denial that the material world is the only thing that exists. That there's some supernatural thing. Now, I believe in the supernatural shit. Right? But this crusade against materialism seems to have a real personal investment in trying to prove that the supernatural is an extension of reality, when I really don't give a fuck. But anyways, this crusader guy against reality says, if God existed, he would be evil, because allowing evil to happen is the same thing as causing it. There are so many issues with this take. Not to mention, what comes next is claiming there is no objective morality. Well, yeah, so listen, I feel like this guy just doesn't know how words work. Maybe that's where he has a problem here. Objective, you could be objective about morality, but objective morality is kind of a misapplication of words there. And these are big words for me tonight, I'm telling you. I did not learn these in my 5th grade class, which is the last grade I made it to. But so there's no objective morality, because objective morality doesn't exactly make sense as a label there. What he's talking about is no absolute morality, which I would agree with. There is no absolute morality. Morality has changed all throughout the history of Christianity and Judaism. So I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. But it's not just, I feel like he's really misphrasing what the point was of the video. Because the point of the video wasn't just a God. What we're talking about is a tri-omni God. That's what GE's talking about. And this tri-omni God, one of the factors of it is being omnibenevolent. Another one is being all-knowing, right? Omniscient. And so if he's omniscient and he's what was that first one? Omnibenevolent, then he would be evil because he allows evil to happen and thus not be omnibenevolent. Because allowing things like cancer to exist, these are things that, you know, you can't necessarily give some. I mean, there are ways that you can give somebody cancer, obviously. But what I'm talking about are these natural instances of cancer developing because of some genetic defect or something of that nature, right? And so God allowing the situations to happen, God setting up the situation to happen, means that he is evil. Now, my God's not evil, but I also don't agree that he's omnibenevolent. Okay? I take a more classical approach to God, who's a badass motherfucker who will fuck you up if you're not careful. So omnibenevolence is just not part of my vocabulary when we're talking about God. I mean, I kind of feel like that means I'm a better Christian than you are. Just saying. I mean, I'm just doing what the Bible say. I mean, that's all I got to say about it for real on God. That's how the youngins say it now, right? Okay. All right, last couple of ones here, really quick. A&W Fishing Tackle. I have to ask yet again, why is a fishing and tackle store, I'm guessing it's a store, why are they commenting on Godless Engineer shit? Like this, if this is an actual business, why are you putting some dumb shit out there? Like, so you acknowledge God by blaming God? Is the emoji that he used. I just figured I'd act it out, you know. So, but no, GE doesn't acknowledge God by blaming God. GE was pointing out the problems with a certain interpretation of Christianity and really the Abrahamic religions. Okay? I'm not, GE isn't acknowledging God. GE is saying, here's a problem with your bullshit worldview. Maybe go back and rework what you fucking think about God, okay? That's what he's saying. So, I hope this doesn't affect your consumer base, but I mean, it probably won't because it will require your consumer base to read. Randomly calling people I don't know illiterate. That's how I roll. Don't you remember? Y'all asked me to do this, so you're paying the price. Okay, I'm so sorry to this person, but I have no idea how to pronounce that. I'm not even going to try because it'll just come off as racist. So, I mean, and I'm not a racist person. I love everybody. Okay? It's God that doesn't love everybody. All right? Oh, no, God definitely does hate some motherfuckers. Have you read the Old Testament? Like, he is just fucking vengeful in that motherfucker. I mean, if y'all would make one again. Anyways, this person, I'll say, God created humans. All right, prove that statement, will you? I mean, that's what GE would say, and I mean, I have to agree, you need to be able to prove it, not just say it. God knows what they'll do on their own will. Oh, okay, so God knows what they'll do of their own will, so maybe you could think of it like this. If God knows what they would do with their own will, why wouldn't he create a system or an environment that wouldn't allow for these types of things to happen, like babies getting cancer? Why would he have a system set up to where that is possible? Unless he just didn't give a fuck. I mean, listen, we really need to frame this correctly. We are talking about a supernatural, super being that can literally bend reality to his whim. He's like Thanos up there with his goddamn Thanos glove. His super, what is it called? The glove of bullshit? No, it's not a glove of destiny. It's the super glove with gems in it, right? And he's got the reality stone. Okay, the Infinity Gauntlet. That's what it's called, the Infinity Gauntlet. Infinity Gauntlet. He's got the reality stone. He can make reality whatever he wants. Like, he can magically make certain chemical bonds just not fucking happen. But he allows it. Why does he allow it? On a natural thing, we understand it. But on a supernatural thing, that just doesn't make sense. Of course, this doesn't affect my interpretation personally. So, you know, we can just move past that. Anyways, because God created them. It's like you are telling me humans do not build missiles and bullets and guns, even though they know it's going to kill. Well, I mean, yeah, they do. But you know what humans are not? Claiming to be omnibenevolent. Humans are also not claiming to love every single fucking thing on the planet. And of course, this is their interpretation of God. Well, I don't know, maybe not his. If he's using the Quran, then God definitely doesn't love everybody. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe he has a point here. But on certain interpretations of God, even certain interpretations of Islam, God is supposed to love everybody and be so welcoming. Oh, yay! But, you know, that's not what humans are.
Just a little bit of money.
Let's see. Doubtful Form says, how often did you repeat grade 5M? I don't know what grade 5M is. Maybe that's supposed to be a question mark. It is kind of close to it. But how many times? I mean, it's been so long, and I've only got 10 fingers on my hands. So, I mean, we're just, you know, we're going to move past that particular question. Thank you, Doubtful Form, for commenting there. I believe this is the last comment, so I'm going to go and get GE now because I'm tired of being in this spotlight. This is entirely too long tonight. Fuck. We're going to have to blow through the video tonight. But I'm going to be asleep because I'm going to go and get beer because we're dry in this house. I'm going to get drunk.
There's some beer in the fridge outside.
Oh, shit. What? All right. I got to go get a beer. I will be right back with GE with his bullshit and everything. GE, it's your turn. Thank you, Josephus. Could you, like, maybe not try to get the channel shut down or some shit there, bro? Like, nah, you know me. I mean, I just do my thing. You sprung this on me, so guess what? It's your fault. Well, yes, son, because I hit the button.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, there's not some kind of newfangled thing called hypersync, and we're going to go into hyperdrive or something in the house.
It was a little concerning.
Yeah, it was a little concerning. All right. What's up, heathens? Torbjorn says, Brosephus does a good impression of GE, I think. Who knows? Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Yep. So sorry, everybody. I moved right into some bullshit and I didn't even take care of my sugar. Woo! All right. So, sorry, I had a quick nap over there while he was bullshitting. Y'all ready to get to the video tonight?
I'm ready.
You ready?
Even though it's not the one I wanted.
No, it's not the one that you wanted?
No.
You never get what you want, huh?
Not normally.
Continuing with the theme of build.
Okay, sorry. Last week you did? Yeah, I actually checked back later after I had sort of stopped the polling on it, and actually a different video had won out. But you know, you got it was about time you had your pick. Booyah! 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 Oh shit. Okay, let's see. I gotta size this a little bit here. Apparently he has recorded in some kind of weird aspect ratio here. Okay. All right. Welcome, heathens. So tonight we're taking a look at this video from this guy. He is going to be telling us how atheism is way more magical than Christianity, or way more magical than magic, by the way. Like, it's not just Christianity. It's way more magical than fucking magic actually is. Not sponsored by Protein 2.0, but they are pretty delicious. All right, let's get to it. Now, this guy, this is a clip from a longer video. It's less than 5 minutes long, so we're just going to take a look at it real quick and see what he has. And like half of the video is just some motherfucker talking. So let's see what happens here. Y'all ready to go? You ready to go? She's ready. That means we're all ready. Let's see. Gary said, "Oh, I listened to this video and felt like wanting to facepalm myself to the infinite." Doubtful Form says, "If you don't take your sugar, it'll take care of you." That is so very true. I'm hoping that my insulin kicks in here quite soon, but I'll probably end up having to take more later on tonight. Let's see, I forgot to log it real quick. I'm such a bad host tonight. All right, let's get to it. Let's see how bad this gets.
Continuing with the theme of building a better worldview, let's go to a video of an ex-Christian mocking atheism. Just a heads up, major language warning for the rest of the episode.
You have been blessed by Christ. Now go forth and suck my dong.
Thank you so much there, Doubtful Form. So first off, I want to critique his little setup here that he has. Background, way too busy. You got way too many lines going many different places here. Like, I don't know if y'all can really take it in, but like, not only does he have like the background in his actual video here is fine. Like, that's a normal background to have. Doesn't cause any kind of confusion. Very light lines and everything like that. Doesn't confuse the eye or anything like that. Even the guy over here, right here, he doesn't have a bad background. I mean, he's a stand-up comedian. Stand-up dipshit. And so, I mean, he's fine. What's the problem is the background that he's got all of this set on. And even before the show, the reason why I was late tonight is I had to find something different in order to put myself on so that it wasn't too busy, wasn't confusing the eye or anything like that. Daniel M says, "The last something, subscribe to talk shit here in a minute." Daniel M says, "I can totally feel the magic coursing through my bones. I can't wait to see the episode? Maybe episode? Episode? I agree. I can't wait." And I like this little reference to bone there.
I don't know if y'all know this, but when you get to heaven, your moral actions are not judged. You're only judged for believing in me. Thank you.
Thank you. Ramblings and Beyond said, "Couldn't recall what day it is next week. Happy early birthday, GE. Get Bro Cephas a drink." Yeah, so my birthday is going to be on Thanksgiving next week, the U.S. Thanksgiving. We call it John's Giving here. So Thanksgiving Day, my birthday, same day this year. It happens every few years, so everybody celebrates my birthday that day. That's how I look at it. That's how narcissistic I am. All right, so we're about to listen to this guy. A little bit of critique on this guy's video structure here. At the very beginning, I do like how he's like, you've got to be...
Jesus loves the little children, maybe a little too much.
I like how at the beginning of these videos, the Christians always have to be like, be careful. There's some language ahead. I love that. First, yeah, it offends their sensibilities. But, I mean, I feel like, and I don't expect everybody to have this opinion, but my opinion is that this particular topic that we're discussing is not appropriate for children in the first place. Like religion, God, and all that, I feel like it's not appropriate for children to have that kind of conversation on the level that we're having it, right? So, like, I don't push religion or non-religion on my son. I just don't push religion in any kind of sense. And whenever he brings it up, you know, it's him bringing it up, and I try to not be so hardcore about atheism, I guess. I try to be very open, try to let him know that it's okay to explore different ideas and everything like that, try to make him feel safe to explore those things without any kind of worry that I'm going to react in a negative way, like if he becomes religious. But after speaking to my son and hearing him talk about this topic, I don't think that it'll happen, but, you know, anything's possible in the future. But I just like how even grown-ups are afraid of language at times. I'm surprised they didn't bleep things out. Normally that's what happens. They bleep them out. But, you know, here, we'll listen to it.
Some people think God created the universe. Some people think nothing created the universe, which is the funniest guess. And the nothing people make fun of the God people. They say God doesn't exist. I'm like, okay, maybe. But you know what definitely doesn't exist? Nothing. That's the defining characteristic of nothing, is that it doesn't exist.
Okay, so this is actually something that we covered over on Zod's channel. And I think I actually have that clipped out of me and Zod reacting to this particular comedian's thing here. And he gets a lot of things wrong here. Obviously, he's playing off of the whole trope of the alternative to theistic creation of the universe is just nothing created it, as if nothing could be something. Well, so there's a little bit of nuance to that, because the nothing that he's talking about is absolute nothing, which we haven't actually observed to exist in reality. Like, that's kind of like that's just a propositional thing. Like the whole idea of nothing existing is not something that we can actually reproduce at all in scientific experiments or anything like that. When we pull everything, every piece of whatever out of a particular space, we find that there's still a very small electrical charge there. So the nothing that people think exists isn't actually nothing. It is still something. And that something has the potential to produce an entire universe. There's a lot of different complex scientific ideas about how this universe could have inflated. We do know at one point that it did inflate. We have the cosmic microwave background radiation and all that kind of stuff to explain how, to explain that the universe did in fact inflate, 13.5 billion years ago. And so we have that explanation. It doesn't include this absolute nothing that he's talking about. So his entire comedic routine here is based off of personal incredulity. He doesn't know what the actual argument is. And so he just runs with this false dichotomy of, either God did it or nothing did it. And obviously the nothing doing it is unreasonable. It's laughable. But he's like, he's built a straw man in order to argue about how the universe came into existence. And that's not funny, to me at least. Like, as he's going through, I'm like, well, that's not what it actually says. Oh, that's not what the science says. Oh, that's not what the evidence is. So, I just, Yeah, sorry, I was making sure that I covered all the super chats there. So it doesn't come across as funny to me. It comes across as ignorant, personally. Of course, this guy right here thinks it's the most hilarious shit he's ever heard. So, that's where he's coming from. But, so I'm just not impressed with the argument that's provided here. In fact, it presents a false dichotomy of explanations because it's, God did it. And then, oh, wait, my God did it. Oh, wait, no, my God did it. Versus, like each one of those verses, but versus the plethora of scientific hypotheses that could explain how the universe inflated or came into existence itself. So, there you go. All right, let's see where they're going to go with this now.
So what are we talking about? Either you think it's God, something you can't see, touch, taste, photograph, and science can't prove, or you think it's nothing, something you can't see, touch, taste, photograph, and science can't prove. But I think we can all agree, if your nothing sometimes spontaneously erupts into everything, that's a pretty goddamn magical fucking nothing, you guys.
Huh? Oh, apparently he's not a Christian. It would be a weird thing for Christians to say, but he's apparently not a Christian. He's not a Christian, but he also hates atheists, apparently. He also hates them. Or doesn't like atheists or thinks that atheists are, holier than thou, basically. But the thing that he presented right there with the concept of nothing, the scientific concept of nothing, inflating into everything that exists today, that's not magical. That's explained through scientific hypotheses that we have yet to confirm. So there's still a little room for the magical God idea to happen. But what he was pointing out there was that the theistic explanation for the universe is just as magical as the science explanation. So atheists shouldn't act all holier than thou compared to Christians. Like they're atheists are no better than Christians in this respect, which this isn't an atheist argument, it's a scientific argument. So, I mean, you could say scientists, but there are religious scientists out there. So, I mean, you're kind of fucked on multiple fronts at this point in the comedian's routine. He just simply doesn't understand. I'm guessing that he would not want any kind of pushback or feedback on this because he's just doing his set, right? And his set is totally fucking bullshit at this particular point. I don't know how the rest of his set is, but, I would not have a good, opinion about him after this point, considering he's saying, oh, you're holier than thou. No, I just like to explain my worldview with natural fucking processes, evidence, and reasonable explanations. That's how I like to explain things. Why do you think that explaining shit why do you think that explaining shit with natural processes is just as fucking magical as God farting it out of his ass? I don't know, and I don't know why he thinks it's just as magical. At this point, I have to ask, do you think the rain is fucking magical? What about the rock cycle? Does fucking shit just turn into different shit? Or is it radiometric decay? Radioactive decay. Which one is it? Is that fucking magical? Is radioactive decay fucking magical at this point? Because some atoms spontaneously turn into daughter elements? No, it's not magical. It's a natural fucking process. You can tell that this kind of shit fuckery just gets on my nerves, right? Casey can tell. Thank you, honey.
Okay, a couple of quick points. I'm not certain that God can't be scientifically proven. There are a lot of things you can't scientifically measure that you can, in fact, prove. Cave paintings and arrowheads archaeologically would prove that there was some sort of primitive human civilization there. And similarly, the fine-tuning of the universe, the mathematical structure of the universe, the fact that there's information in the cell. I'm not going to develop any of those right now, but just simply to say these are scientifically established facts. And trying to explain them without a mind, I think, is almost always far more absurd than simply postulating that there was a mind behind these things.
I don't know, honey, do you understand like his connection between cave paintings and arrowheads to the thinking that a magical mind created everything and put information in ourselves? Like, this seems like a non sequitur, because he's like, there's a lot of things that you can't prove in science, and then he mentions cave paintings and arrowheads showing that there were primitive peoples that created those things. Like, how? So, like, archaeology is a science. Archaeology uses science in order to come to these conclusions. I mean, sure, this is like a most likely scenario, so you're talking in statistics and probability, which is still part of science. Exactly how in the fuck does all that, like, does science not prove those things? And then he compares these natural things to the supernatural idea that a mind is required to, quote unquote, put information in our cells, which he's talking about DNA. DNA can be interpreted as information. We can interpret the chemical bonds in order to be information. Like, we can interpret them that way. But they are not like some kind of intelligently made information. Like, there's a difference between like the natural information that exists just naturally in the world, but we have to be there to interpret this information, right? And then there's man-made man-made information. Like, a good example of that would be like a book. A book is definitely a man-made interpretation. Now, you can read DNA like a book if you would like to, and being intelligent agents ourselves, we can interpret those chemical bonds in DNA to mean something, but it does not inherently have information. We have to interpret it in that way. Like all the other things that he mentioned in his little spiel there, he says it's easier to propose that a mind is behind it than to not. And I agree, I guess, with that sentiment. It is easier to make up a bullshit explanation for something. Why is it raining, sir? Well, you know, last night I did fuck a virgin on a full moon. So we should probably keep doing that. Like, you can make up bullshit all you want to, but that doesn't mean that it comports with reality. That doesn't mean that it's the correct conclusion to come to. If a conclusion is hard to come to, it's hard to prove, that doesn't mean anything about whether or not the conclusion is right. It's hard for us to come to that conclusion with our restrictive human experience, but that doesn't mean that it's hard in the way that it makes it not true.
And another example is the beginning of the universe. And he says, you know, you basically can believe God created it or nothing created it. That non-existence gave rise to all of existence.
So, sorry to stop it so quick, but if you restate this in a way that really exposes how ridiculous that he's saying here, it's like, well, either a magical old-ass magician that exists outside of reality made it rain, or rain just spontaneously happened with no explanation behind it. It was just a clear fucking day, and then all of a sudden, fucking rain. It just came out of nowhere. Like, if you restate it in a way that takes it, I guess, from one natural process to a natural process that you can easily understand, that you might already understand, like how the rain cycle or the water cycle works. That's an easily understandable natural process that we can explain at various levels of complexity. And of course, everybody gets confused by the beginning of the universe because they just can't really consider like all the different intricacies that go into how the universe is created. Like, I wouldn't expect a normal person to know that a fluctuation in a quantum scalar field is a likely way that the universe could have inflated, because when a quantum scalar field fluctuates from a false vacuum state to a true vacuum state, it releases an immense amount of potential energy. And that potential energy is released as in what's called inflatons. And all of this inflaton energy then degrades into the matter that we have now. And during that degradation process, it heats up the universe to a point where not even light can travel through it. So, I mean, I don't expect people to know that intricate of an idea, one possible explanation for the inflation of the universe. But the water cycle, somebody just, Eric Mishima in the chat while we're doing this live just mentioned the tide goes in, the tide goes out. You can't explain that. Oh my fucking God, you dipshit. Yes, we can. Well, not Eric. Eric's not a dipshit. It was originally that guy who grabbed reporters' asses or something. He always did a war on Christmas thing. Bill O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly, you know, he's the dipshit here. He's like, tide goes in, tide goes out. Can't explain that. Yes, we fucking can. Just like with the rain cycle or the water cycle. I always want to call it the rain cycle. The water cycle, the rock cycle. Any natural processes that we have, quote unquote, spontaneously happen. Now, it's not that they really spontaneously happen. It's just that there are certain physical laws that are governing these processes that cause these things to happen. Now, considering all that, where does that leave Christians in this particular conversation? Well, I guess I should say theists in general. Where it leaves them is explaining how God is necessary for natural processes to operate. Because as it stands right now, the response that I would probably get from this guy is just that, well, God is required for natural processes to happen, so therefore it still requires God for it to happen. But that's just claiming that God is there. Like if I claim that there's a change in energy levels in water vapor that causes it to rain, and there's another change in energy levels that causes water to gain more energy and turn into water vapor, rise up into the air, and form clouds. These are all things that we can scientifically prove, that we have lab experiments where we can literally show you it happening. Okay? Can you do that for God? Is there some kind of scientific experiment that we can do to prove that this exchanging of energy levels, in water is requires some supernatural intelligence like God? Is there a scientific experiment that we can do for that? No, I don't think so. All you can do is speculate that God is required for the energy to change like that. And so they ultimately have a magical conclusion, whereas scientifically minded people have actual fucking answers.
And that is magical. That is outrageous. That is illogical. It literally is illogical. The principle, or the definition, I should say, of nothing is that it has no properties. It doesn't exist, and therefore there is no property to it, including something like causal power, right? Causal power would be a property of a thing that exists. So if nothing, which has no properties, has causal power, that's self-defeating. Well, the atheist has a savior. They can postulate, instead of the universe coming into existence out of nothing, they can say the universe is actually eternal. It has always existed and never didn't exist. This flies in the face of all science. Alexander Vilenkin.
Sorry, he's appealing to authority here in a second, but he's presenting a false dichotomy. This is the second false dichotomy that's been presented in this video. Shit, I just realized that my my other video capture here is a little off. But there's let's see. Okay. Hold on. I had a list of different hypotheses that could explain the beginning of the universe. I just want to rattle off a few here. One, Big Bang Theory, which is kind of what we've been talking about here. The most widely accepted scientific explanation for the origin of the universe. It posits that the universe began as a singular point of infinite density and temperature, which began to expand approximately 13.8 billion years ago. The theory is supported by observational evidence such as the cosmic microwave background radiation and the redshift of galaxies. Two very popular things that you can appeal to for the universe inflating at one point in the past. Then there's the multiverse theory, suggests that our universe might be one of many universes that exist in a larger universe. This theory arises from the field of quantum mechanics and theories like eternal inflation, which propose that different regions of space can inflate like our universe did, creating a potentially infinite number of other universes with varying properties. And then there's cyclical or oscillating universe. I'm not going to read the entire descriptions of all of these. There's a quantum gravity model, string theory and M theory, emergent universe models, simulation hypothesis, which fucking dipshits. Sorry, not dipshits, but I mean there are some people that put way too much stock in that. Steady state theory, which I guess is what he's talking about now, this eternal thing, which even my list here has it as abandoned in favor of the Big Bang Theory due to observational evidence. Causal dynamic triangulation is another one. And then there's the zero energy universe. This one's kind of interesting because it's something that he kind of touched on here. The zero energy universe, this hypothesis suggests that the total amount of energy in the universe is exactly zero. The positive energy of matter is exactly canceled out by the negative energy, negative gravitational energy, and thus the universe could come from nothing as no net energy is required to produce it. So these are several different alternative hypotheses, not the thing that he's talking about. Now, to address something that he said, basically he thinks that the nothing that scientists are talking about is this absolute nothing, this theoretical absolute nothing. We haven't actually observed that to exist, so that's not actually what the scientific hypotheses ever purport. Except for, I mean, maybe the zero energy universe, but that doesn't mean that there is like no energy at all. It just means there's no net energy. Like the net energy is always zero, so it doesn't require energy for it to actually come about. And there's several levels of complexity that you can get into with each one of these hypotheses. So, but he's creating yet another straw man in his false dichotomy to portray atheists as having this magical explanation for shit. But as he said, that if this nothingness has properties to it, like holding an electrical charge, then it's not nothing. He's literally answering his own fucking question, and he doesn't even know it. He's proving how bullshit his own statement is, but he doesn't even realize it. Casey said, "Yeah, bitch." I have to agree. Yeah, basic bitch.
One of the most preeminent cosmologists in the whole world one time said this: "It is said that an argument is what convinces reasonable men, and a proof is what it takes to convince even an unreasonable man. With the proof now in place, cosmologists can no longer hide behind the possibility of a past eternal universe. There is no escape. They have to face the problem of a cosmic beginning."
I don't really give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what any scientist says from a personal position. Like this isn't a position that's based on evidence. This is one scientist's opinion. I don't really care about the opinions of a scientist. I don't think that you guys watching this video should care about my opinions on any particular topic. I mean, if you agree with them, that's great. If my opinions seem to convince you or sway you one way or another, fine. That's great too.
You have been blessed by Christ. Now go forth and suck my dong.
That's what Jesus ordains, y'all. what I care about is the information. And you notice that I am bringing actual information to this. I'm listing off the various scientific hypotheses. I've got explanations for each one of them. Even if I don't fully fully understand each one, I don't have to understand the basic premise of each hypothesis. I'm just speaking from a position that's informed by evidence. So I'm not saying like, trust me because of my opinion, or that, I have any kind of notoriety in the public space or any. I don't, by the way. I don't think I have any kind of notoriety. I'm not delusional to that point. But I'm just saying, like, I don't think that you should believe me just because I'm me, right? That would be an argument from authority, which I'm not an authority at all on any of this. But the evidence that I'm providing from the experts in the field, those are authorities, but I'm using their evidence. They're well-reasoned arguments that are based on evidence. And I think that just bringing out some dude's opinion, whether he's a scientist or not, I don't really give a fuck. This dude could think that aliens jack off 3 times daily and throw their cum at the earth. I don't give a fuck. I have to get water. 1 second. Here, hello, I'm back. I've got cold water, and I also have a packet. I have Skittles Orange that it's nearly see-through. What are y'all drinking tonight? Iced tea. I haven't been able to have a beer since I got back from the trip, so you can tell I'm upset over that. Shake it up real good. Okay. We got a limeade, sparkling water, coffee, natty daddy. Oh man, my dad would drink natty light all the time. I'm guessing that's because you could get a 24-pack for $5, huh? Look. First you got to drink the liquor, and then you drink the beer, because then you don't taste it. That's why. All right. Let's continue.
He said it a little bit softer a few years later in this paper titled The Beginning of the Universe. And here, kind of in his concluding remarks, he says, the answer to the question, did the universe have a beginning, is it probably did. Okay, so it's a little softer. Listen to this. We have no viable models of an eternal universe.
Right. The eternal universe, or the steady state hypothesis that preceded the Big Bang, was overridden by the Big Bang theory. So, yeah, we've already come to this conclusion. You're not saying anything profound here. You're not pointing out anything profound. What you're literally seeing in real time here is he's built a straw man, and then he's like, all right, bow up, motherfucker. No steady state universe, dipshit. And then he knocked it down. That you're seeing that happen in real time here. Like, he's just fighting a straw man like he's Don Quixote. I mean, Don Quixote, I believe, fought windmills. Same premise, though.
You will hear atheists say, but what about the Carol Chen model? And what about the oscillating model? And they'll postulate all of these non-evidenced theorems or theories.
Well, no. Okay, so first of all, shit, sorry. I totally just fucked up my mic. Not bad. So first of all, totally wrong here. These are not like theory. Like Big Bang is a theory. It's a scientific theory, like the Big Bang theory, scientific theory. But the rest of these are hypotheses, right? These are hypotheses that could compete with it. So, I mean, like the Big Bang theory is, it has evidence behind it. It's built off of evidence, like the cosmic microwave background. Oh, shit. Siri thought I was talking to her ass. So, you got the redshift, you've got the cosmic microwave background radiation, you've got several different things that prove that at one point in the past, our universe inflated Whether it was out of nothing or something, I'm not exactly sure how the Big Bang, like in the official, like the well thought out theory explains it, but that's there. Now there's all the rest of these are hypotheses, right? These are like the oscillating universe. That doesn't necessarily rule out the Big Bang theory, but there is some evidence for an oscillating universe, but the hypothesis has some problems with it. It has issues with, I believe, entropy. Like there's no good model or way to reverse entropy, which is what would be required by the model, right? But that doesn't mean that the model's disproved. Maybe there's some kind of way to reverse entropy that we just haven't figured out yet, and we will later figure out reverse entropy or something like that. So that's still a possibility, but he's presenting all of these as scientific theories, or at least he's speaking about scientific topics and mixing it with colloquial terms, which seems to give the false impression that these are scientific theories, and they're not.
But you have to understand, not a single one of them is viable. They all have major flaws that either are internally incoherent, or they fly in the face of other well-established facts like the second law of thermodynamics, or they fly in the face of the BGV theorem. The BGV, or Born-Guth-Vilenkin theorem, gives us reason to believe that such a model simply cannot be constructed. Mathematically, it is, and logically, I would argue, but
I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this fuck doesn't really know much about mathematical anything. I mean, I feel like he wouldn't be saying, oh, mathematically it's been proven wrong, but I feel like if he knew some mathematics, he just wouldn't say that. Also, it would be really great if he could explain some of these bullshit claims that he's making, like that any of these hypotheses violate the second law. Now, obviously, the oscillating idea does violate the second law, but I feel like if we were able to find a method or a way that entropy could be reversed, then it would just become part of the second law of thermodynamics, right? I feel like that is how science would work. But this guy doesn't really understand how science works. He's mixing up terms. He's representing colloquial ideas of theories as scientific theories, or at the very least, he's discussing scientific hypotheses with very colloquial language, thereby confusing the viewer into thinking that he's speaking from a more scientific position. It's just so fucking ridiculous, everything that he's saying. Daniel says, I bet you say, hey Siri, can you get at least some people's phone to go off? Once in a while that happens when a friend of mine talks to his phone.
Okay, I found this on the web for can you get at least some people's phone to go off once in a while. That happens when a friend of
I don't know what y'all have heard, but donating is not going to make me stop. Fuck me in the asshole.
Yep, that's exactly what Bro Stevens is doing now. Daniel, I don't know if you heard it, but it read it off.
at least according to their mathematics.
Oh, wait a second. So I did miss paleoism. I'm so sorry about that, paleo. It says, what's your Bayesian probability that we live in a construct? I find myself sounding like a creationist. Carrier ripped me a new one on his blog. Oh, yeah, Carrier has a habit of doing that. But Bayesian probability that we live in a construct, I mean, I guess it would be hard for me to give a Bayesian probability for it. I feel like there's not a lot of evidence for it, if at all. And as far as I know, there's no evidence about a simulation. Like, I don't even know how you would go about proving that it's a simulation. But there's something. He said, "What's your prior?" I mean, I think my personal prior would be drastically low, like as low as you can get without being zero. I feel that's just primarily because prior probability is based off of what information do we have now about this particular topic, and how does that affect the likelihood of it being true? Like, what's everything that factors into it? And I mean, I'm not well versed in this topic, but my guess would be that the idea that we live in a simulation can't be proven, right? So that makes it a pretty low probability in my mind. You would need significant evidence in order to prove that. So I guess that would be my answer. Maybe I feel like I've heard this once before. It might have been Matt Dillahunty or somebody else, but basically, if we all are just brains in a vat, hard solipsism, and we're experiencing this reality through a simulation, we're all given this reality that we're all experiencing together. We're interacting with this reality. There's no point in postulating that this reality could not be real. It doesn't really help us in interacting with our reality. Whether it's a simulation or not, we still have to interact with this reality and its constraints, right? So there's no, for me at least, there's no point in even discussing whether or not it's a virtual reality or simulation or anything like that, because we still have to interact with our reality. And I feel like becoming Neo in this virtual reality is kind of a fantastical thing. And so my prior would just be incredibly low. All right.
It is impossible to construe the universe as though it were literally eternal. So here are your three options: God, nothing, or the universe is eternal. So you can be...
What's up, heathens? I just real quick wanted to let
you can be illogical and...
No. I did it. I fucked up. I went to go and press pause, but I've been editing, for days, and I just fucked it up. So hold on. Let me go back to his three things. Okay.
God, nothing, or the universe is eternal. So you can be unscientific and fly in the face of all the known science. You can be illogical and ascribe to nothing, the attributes of something. Or you can take the very small leap of reason and say that a mind, which best describes information in the cell, information at the foundation of the universe, the fine-tuning of the universe, and the beginning of the universe, well, I'm going to go ahead and say that thing actually exists.
So he's got three possibilities here. He's totally ignoring all the other reasonable possibilities. Both of these are straw man arguments. Sorry, my fingers got fucked up for a second. Both of these are straw man arguments of the actual, topic that we're discussing right now. And so the one topic that you actually have left here is a magical one where you're just speculating that there's some, old ass magician up there that created everything. This is your magical finger that you can sit and spin on. That's exactly... I mean, I'm being serious here. I mean, he represents this one thing as being the most reasonable option in the face of science. And all that he does for this one option here that is supposedly more reasonable is speculate about some old magician fuck that exists outside of space and time. And that's it. That's all he's got. Speculation about it. So I feel like if this guy were to ever watch this video or any videos that we do here, I feel like you need to actually listen to what the arguments are, not from atheists. Well, I mean, some scientists are atheists out there. I mean, I think a majority of scientists end up being atheists out there. But listen to actual scientists about the explanations. Try to understand them the best that you can. And then come back with your magical space wizard thing, right? Come back with that. Try to explain it in the face of understanding the actual arguments that are being made. Instead of pulling this whole straw man thing where it's like, hey, yo, I know I just built you out of straw and everything, and you're probably looking for your brain somewhere, but hey, you know what? Steady state is bullshit. Nothingness can't produce anything. And then knock it down, right? Like, he just built, like, instead of a false dichotomy, this is a false trilemma, I guess, maybe. I'm not exactly sure how you would say this, because he's got God or these other two bullshit things that aren't actually being argued by anybody. I don't know how, like, he's so smug back there in this. He's like, yeah, I just got you fucking atheist by the nuts. Like, he's just sitting back there like, oh yeah, try to come back now, atheist. It's like, it's rather fucking easy when you don't actually represent the scientific positions accurately. Oh yeah. Actually, wait a second. Get a special treat. It's actually rather easy when you don't represent the scientific positions accurately. So maybe go back to the drawing board, motherfucker. I love those glasses, honey. All right. He's got a few more seconds left, so let's deal with him.
That does it for today. This is Unsafe Media. If you have not done...
Okay, he's just generically stroking his own ego here. All right, so that's going to be it for the video. It's a really short video, but you know, that's pretty much all that he had. Which I know at the very beginning he said he wasn't really going to unpack and develop a lot of things at first, but I feel like if you're going to you know, introduce these topics, like, I don't expect you to fully flesh out your speculative space wizard idea for creating the universe. You don't have to do that, but I would at least expect you to understand the counter arguments before you leap in to this particular discussion. And it's hard for people to take you seriously when you can't even steelman the opposition. I mean, I watch religious content, like religious apologists and all that. I watch that stuff all the time. You know, KC over there, she can attest to this. Like, we'll be in the car and we'll be listening to a debate between a theist and an atheist, or a scientist and a theist, or something like that. Like, I'll just be listening to it and she'll join in too, even though she hates listening to these fucks. She loathes it, but she watches it and listens to it for me, and I appreciate that so much there, hon. She puts up with a lot of bullshit from me because I want to know what the opposition is saying so that I can represent their positions honestly. And even if I paraphrase or I do a reductio ad absurdum, sorry, I pronounced that wrong, a reductio absurdum on their particular arguments or on their theologies or anything like that, I can come back and say, no, I perfectly understand your theology, but it's also not my fault that you can reduce your theology down to something really fucking ridiculous. So, my advice to anybody that's looking to wade into these particular topics and discussions is to actually learn what the opposition is proposing. Actually learn what people are saying in response to your particular position. I mean, this cannot be bad advice. Like, this is basic, like, debate 101, or just in general understanding your own positions. Like, you will be so prepared to handle any kind of conversation if you understand both your position and the opposition's, as well as what's wrong with the opposition and why your particular position trumps the opposition position. So, what? Yeah, it was. I'm sorry. I'm just flying off my hip. I'm shooting from the hip right now. But no, this cannot be bad advice right here. And I suggest everybody do it if you can. If you don't care about it, that's perfectly fine with me. I don't give a fuck what you do. Go and do whatever you want. Fuck a beer can bottle. I don't care. A beer can bottle. Figure that out. Huh? Oh, yeah. Those, like, the Bud Light has the aluminum bottles. Yeah, okay. Oh, you know what? That's a good idea. I can, don't forget to like and subscribe. And then also, just to shill one more time, you can get 10% off the Heathen shirt. I don't have mine yet. I ordered samples, so it should be here soon. But you can go on ahead if you like the Heathen wear stuff, or you wanted to get it before, but you can't get it anymore. Now you can. And you can get it for 10% off whatever listed price is there. And I made sure to price them to where I'm not really making hardly any money off of the shirts and everything. I think the pullovers are a little bit more expensive, obviously, because they're like, it's a lot more clothing put in there. But you can get your Heathen shirt. Just to show a little bit more.
You have been blessed by Christ. Now go forth and suck my dong.
Here is another message that you can check out my clips channel. I'm putting up clips over there, short form content made from my longer form content. If you like more hyper specific topics to being discussed in a video, videos are normally less than 10 minutes, sometimes less than 7 minutes over there. So if you like hyper specific content that only touches on one particular subject, definitely go and check out GE Clips. And then here's another link for my gaming channel. Tomorrow I'm going to be finishing up Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. If that is your kind of jam, go on ahead, subscribe to the GE Plays channel, and you too can watch me beat the campaign, give my final thoughts about it. And I also have a demo of a video game that's kind of an old, it's an old school retro style game that is going to be coming out. We're going to try it out tomorrow. So if you want to, you can go on ahead, lick or like, as Cyrenian said, lick or like. You can lick or like, but don't lick your phone or your screen. Maybe licking isn't a good idea, but do that to the video tonight. That'll really help us out. And I think that's all the buttons that I actually have right now. But anyways, so that's going to be it for our show tonight. I really appreciate everybody joining me. We are about to go into the Skeptic Mafia comments. I'm not sure how many there are, but we are going to be getting through them. So if you're going to be heading out right now, I really appreciate you stopping by, checking us out, watching the video, enjoying the news segment, which I feel like, let me start a poll here. Pretty simple poll. Did you like the news segment? This was, I put it together pretty hastily and everything like that. Let me know if you liked it, if you didn't like it. That way I know whether to try to make it better or to trash it. Let me know by participating in the poll, or if you're watching after the stream, let me know in the comments down below. But also, while you're down there in the comments, why don't you smash that like button and subscribe so that you can help us spread, Godless Engineer all over YouTube. And, shit, I fucked myself up. And while you're down, right. Don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens. But don't forget, but don't go. Fuck. I don't know, I fucked myself up. But don't go. We got the Skeptic Mafia comments to get through. No, I didn't. I was double checking myself, like, is that the next thing? Fuck. So it's not that I ignored you. I was just like, wait. I know you're always right. I should definitely. Yeah. Oh shit, looks like we got 7 comments tonight. Okay. All right, let's head on over to the GE screen here. Or the comment screen, sorry. Fucking up all over the place. All right, first up is Daniel M, who says, I agree with GE. Hey, join the Skeptic Mafia. You can watch the video and comment. You can even make John say things like, Alexa, play Can't Touch This by MC Hammer. You're welcome, everyone with Alexa. Next up is Polly Pockets, who says, I'm drinking strawberry lemonade from TGI Fridays. And this dude is so weird. Like, I don't understand why he's angry at atheists. Anyway, mafioso for life. That's the attitude that we like to see. Mafioso for life. Drew's Book Reviews says, the very nature of God is unprovable. Cave paintings exist and are observable, thus scientifically provable. Glad we're on the same page there, Andrew. I have never heard of a reputable scientist state that the universe came from an absolute nothing. Even Lawrence Krauss, in his book A Universe from Nothing, which I have read, does not state it was an absolute nothing, only a nothing in the sense that there was no universe before the Big Bang. I've also heard Lawrence Krauss explain what the concept of nothing is in science. And he explains it pretty succinctly, that there's still an electrical charge there, so it's not literally nothing. But the scientific nothing is obviously different from what this guy is talking about. He continues with, I am not a physicist, but I can say that for all intents and purposes, the universe is eternal, as time, as we understand, did not exist prior to the universe. Excuse me. Oh yeah, I just had to burp. There are some theories which state that our universe is just a bubble of a universe emerging from another universe, or our universe could just be in a constant yo-yo-like effect, expanding and collapsing, then expanding again. We are simply in an expanding stage, while the collapsing is called the Big Crunch. He is right on one thing. Of all the physics books I have read, from Lawrence Krauss to Brian Greene, Stephen Hawking and Michio Kaku, I'm not sure if I pronounced his last name right, not one of them has suggested that an eternal universe is a viable theory, just a hypothesis of a possibility, but not viable as a theory yet. We don't know how much can change our understanding evolves. When all is said and done, I don't think this guy truly understands the science and how theoretical physics actually works. I don't claim to either, but it seems like I understand more than he does. He should try reading some actual science books. I would recommend Brian Greene personally, instead of cherry-picking clips to suit his purposes. Anyway, until next time, heathens, keep on reading. That was a great response there, Andrew. That's so awesome. Mr. Hanachak says, I seriously feel stupider for listening to this man's arguments. I would like to say as a whole lot, but I'm right now sweeping the floor and I'm about to go mop. Hopefully GE hits all the points that I want to make, and if not, I guess I'll be here later to add more in. Remember, Casey is almost always right. Edited. I really wonder if this moron has ever actually encountered an actual atheist, because for some reason he believes that we believe in nothingness, just like in the never-ending story, but people are freaking morons. Squirrel! Sorry, I got sucked into listening to GE. I lost my train of thought. Sorry. Thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate you. And now we've got Jonathan Nickel. So many Jonathans. There's a lot of Johns in general. The comedian asserts that atheism was more absurd than believing in magic, but I thought that believing in magic was the purview of the religious. I mean, yeah, on one hand, I definitely agree that it's definitely, I classify it as magic. I don't know how magic is different from how the Christians explain it, other than they just replace the magician with God. And they specially plead that God is a divine being, so that makes it not magic. But it seems magic to me, in a supernatural sense, kind of magic. After all, don't miracles and magic share essentially the same definition? I didn't read this beforehand. I'm glad we're on the same page there, Nickel. He asserts a false dichotomy that either God or nothing created the universe, and asserts that nothing doesn't exist. I would agree with the last part, but then I would ask which raw materials this supposed God used in order to create the universe. I can practically guarantee that the answer would come back as nothing, or he magically produced them. You know, with fucking magic. It all ends up with this speculative idea that magic exists and is real. It kind of makes it seem like the guy's whole video was really just a self-burn. He then follows up with a straw man of the Big Bang, straw man, and a false dichotomy and projection, all in less than 1 minute. Then the narrator gish gallops at a mile a minute, and his arguments are no better. And despite what this guy claims, we do not know that the universe hasn't always existed in some form. His claim that an eternal universe is unscientific is simply false. So he ends on a false dichotomy where did I put that fallacy bingo card? You know, I should really make one of those. I think I did at one time. I remember seeing it in my files. Doubtful form says, really? What caused God and what God? Second law? What are you, a flurf? Nothing is dumber than a yak. Yay, more shit fakery. Causal power? What did you do to measure that with? Don Quixote? I thought it was Trump aiming for windmills. I talked about Don Quixote. I swear I didn't read these comments beforehand. Let's see. Tomato Girl Zumi says, I only have one thing to say, and that's ASCII time. And the ASCII is, oh, it's an Uno reverse card. No, you. The no you card. Fuck. That's happened. So I'm not clairvoyant, by the way. I don't believe in that bullshit. We have the same, sense of mind there when it comes to this particular topic. The no you card, yes, I know. It's pretty spot on, right? Because their religion is far closer to magical thought than atheism is. I mean, atheism is just a rejection of the supernatural, whereas religion is not only acceptance, but worshiping the supernatural. So, yeah, go ahead and hit that like button, smash the subscribe, and maybe join the Skeptic Mafia. We got perks. Insert a generic shilling here. So we do have a lot of perks, and I'm glad that Tomato brought this up because we will be having a Mafia hangout tomorrow. I know Saturday is probably best for most people in the Mafia, and I promise I won't fuck it up this time. We're going to do 3 p.m. Central, which makes it, 1 p.m. Pacific and 4 p.m. Eastern. Mountain time, figure your own shit out. Sorry. Or is Pacific 3 hours behind us? Okay. I could do -1, but you can too. Just saying. 3 p.m. Central. 2. I don't have to say anything else. So we'll be having a Mafia hangout tomorrow, 3 p.m. Central. That's one of the perks that you get for being a mafioso. The mafiosos also get access to the poll that we put out Wednesday or Thursday, depending on how busy my week is, for picking the video that we have on Friday nights. And you also get all the cool emojis that are usually in the chat there. And there's a special podcast that we sometimes put out. We need to start doing that a little bit more. I get it. And hopefully we will. So I know this weekend's kind of open, so we might be able to pound out a couple. Anyways, I'm a pervert. I'm a pervert for you. Okay. She goes, okay. And remember the mantra, Casey is always right. I will listen to Casey. I will follow Casey's recommendations. Casey is God. I fucked up on that particular point tonight. Not the God part, but the rest of it. Eat your goddamn fruits and veggies and fucking drink some goddamn water, you heathens. Tomato out. I'm drinking water. I had protein water before, and now I'm having this lovely water. Oh, it's so good. And that's it for the comments. And that's it for our show. We're actually done on time, even though I spent like the first, 40 minutes going through news and comments. Pretty good, I must say. All right, so thank you, heathens, for joining in today. Let's check out this poll. 5% of you said no. I didn't like the news. Fuck me and my news. My poorly comedic news segment. Like, the comedy was poor. I feel like I could have pulled out more jokes or something like that. I'm not as talented as the writers for SNL. I mean, I feel like you should come into this knowing that. I'm also not a comedian. That's right. I'm just occasionally funny. I'm funny when I don't try. Okay, I'll try not trying that next time. Anyways, that's going to be it for our show tonight. As soon as I started talking about it, people started voting no. No, fuck you. No, no. This fucking show sucks. Oh, see, now they're just fucking playing with it. There's 27 votes right now, but there's 73 of you watching. Why isn't there 73 votes? How am I supposed to get a good gauge off of 27 votes? Oh, okay. Thank you, honey. I'm supposed to do whatever the fuck I want to. So I guess I'll just keep doing the new stuff. Anyways, that's going to be it. Huh? Oh, do you want to join the news section? Would you like it better? Let me see. Let me end the poll. Sorry for people that didn't get to vote. Let's start a poll. You want to bet that you get more votes? Let's see. Vote in the poll. Should Casey join the news segment? What? I mean, it looks like overwhelming majority is saying yes. I mean, that's not much more than I got the first time. Anyways, so it looks like maybe we can convince KC to join the news segment next week. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, Xernian says, we love KC. I know y'all do. Y'all very much love KC. So, anyways, we're going to be going on out of here. Now, we do have the Mafia Hangout tomorrow, but I'm also, like I said before, going to be playing some Modern Warfare 3 and a demo for a game that will be coming out soon. So, if you want to join me for that, please do. I will have a link up later and posted on the community tab. So definitely check that out. And I guess I will be seeing you heathens later. Next week, I don't know what the fuck we got yet. I'm still editing videos. One's about fossils, and then I've got 2 videos I got to record. So I guess we'll just have to figure some shit out later. Or, I mean, next Thursday's Thanksgiving. I'm taking off Thursday. Anyways, I will see you heathens later. Don't forget to stand up, use your voice, and all of that kind of good shit. Bye, heathens.